Are you a beginner who wants to buy a property? Do you wish to invest in real estate? Then you need to watch this video to the end. All right, because you need to know the factors to consider before you buy a property. What are those factors you need to consider before you invest in real estate? Because there are many factors you need to consider, and you have to consider them. You need to think about them. You need to know them, because it will guide you in making the right investment. So the thing is this: buying a piece of real estate is a daunting task. No doubt it has its reward. That's correct. Okay, so making an investment always requires a research. It requires that the person who wants to make an investment make needed research. The reason why you need to make a research before you buy a property, before you make any investment, is because it comes with a huge amount of risk. However, one of the safest options you can consider if you want to make an investment is investing in real estate. So before you invest, before you buy that property, as a beginner, someone who is just starting, as a beginner, what are the factors you need to consider? Before I tell you these factors, I want you to be rest assured that if you do the due diligence before you buy that property, before you make that investment, you are going to reap a huge reward. It's a lucrative opportunity for investment. So what are those factors you need to consider as a beginner who wants to invest in real estate? The first factor you need to consider is the property types. That is, types of properties. There are different types of properties in real estate. There are different real estate property types. We have commercials, and under commercial we have different properties that fall under commercial. We have residential, we have industrial properties, we have agricultural properties. So you want to buy a property, you need to identify the one you want. Identify the property types, and when you identify the property types, then which one are you going for? Now let me give you an instance. Let's say you want to buy a residential property. You should also know, if I'm buying this residential property, which one am I going for? Am I going for studio apartments? Am I going for block of flats or a flat? Am I going for 3-bedroom flats? Am I going for 2-bedroom flats? Am I going for 5-bedroom duplex? Am I going for semi-detached duplex? Am I going for fully detached duplex? So you need to know the property you want to invest in. That's the first factor. Then the second factor, which is vital, is your budget. What's your budget? That's the question. All right, you need to have a budget. It's very important that you have a budget. And a budget will guide you. It will as well guide the agency, that is the real estate agency, or the real estate person who is going to take you around to get your desired property. Having a budget will help you also know in which areas can I get this desired property of mine at so amount, or at the budget I have. Of course, you should also know that in getting a property of your choice, in getting a property you desire, that there are areas where the budget you have can afford you the property you want to get. Here in Abuja, there are places that, of course, you know that if you want to acquire a property, land per se, not even a building, you should be having up to 100 million or above to get a property. In as much as the property types you also want to buy should be considered, the budget should also be the first thing you need, should be among the first things to consider. Now, having a budget will be of utmost help to you. One, you won't have to go from different places. They'll just be showing you different properties, and at the end, you do not have what it will take to acquire the property. So have a budget. Remember, in having a budget, you should also know that there is an amount, a stipulated amount required to make as a down payment for any property you are going for. So have your budget and have this amount sorted out already. Have it in handy so that when you see any property, you'll be able to go ahead and make the down payment required for it. Then the third factor to consider as a beginner when buying a property is the location. So it has to be what? Location, location, and location. Location is sacrosanct. Location is vital. Location is important. You can't do without the location. Yes, location is very, very important. Very, very important. You can't do without it. Do you know why? One is this: you don't want to buy a property that is far off from development. That's one. Two, you want to buy a property that you can get return on investment as soon as possible, right? So considering the location of where you want this property will also help you to know if you are going to get your return on investment. Now, in considering location, look out for is there government presence around there? Are there social amenities around the property you want to buy? Is it close to town? All right. What job opportunities are around there? Are there schools, hospitals all around the location you want to buy? So consider the location. Consider the location of the property. That's the third factor to consider. The fourth factor is investment purpose. What's your investment purpose? Why do you want to buy this property? What do you want to use this property for? You should know what you want to use it for. All right. So if you are buying a property, let's say the property you are buying is solely for commercial purposes, you should also know that the location for this property matters a lot. Now, if you are buying a property for residential, the purpose of the property determines the location at times. Yes, it determines. Now, if it's for an office space, of course, you look out for areas you buy it. All right. So the purpose of your property, the purpose of investment, rather, the purpose for which you are making this investment determines the type of property you buy. All right. The purpose for the investment determines the property type you should buy. But when you know the purpose of the property you are buying, it will help you to make the right decision. It will also help you to have a better vision of what you are looking for. Now, having a better vision of what you are looking for will help you to narrow it down to the property type, to the property that will best suit you and suits the purpose for which you are buying the property for. All right. That's the fourth thing, the fourth factor you need to consider as an investor, as someone who is buying a property for the first time. So as a beginner, you need to consider this. As a beginner, you need to consider the property types we have. You need to consider the budget. What's your budget? You also need to consider the location. It has to be the location, because even getting the return on investment on this investment you've made depends solely on the location of the property. Remember, you watch out for social amenities, government presence, watch out for job opportunities, how close it is to the road, and all the rest. So your location is very important. And we'll also talk about the investment purpose. What is your purpose for acquiring this property? If you find this video helpful, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can like and leave a comment to also push it forward for others to watch.